The last fifth grade of Emerson Elementary, 2016, stands as a middle grade novel in verse by Laura Shovan, a high school teacher, freelance journalist, and poet. The narrative revolves around Ms. Hill's fifth grade class, comprising 18 students who eloquently depict their final year at Emerson Elementary and their determined efforts to prevent the school's demolition. Each student, from this diverse group, conveys their unique story through a variety of poetic forms. These verses are aptly described by Shovan as persona poems, where each character speaks directly in the first person. Amid the impending loss of their school, the students grapple with individual challenges such as grief, homelessness, family strife, language barriers, and questions of self-identity. As the year advances, the students form deeper connections and find their voices. The last fifth grade of Emerson Elementary was recognized with the Sybil's Award in Poetry and received the honor of being an Arnold Adolph Poetry Award for New Voices Honor Book in 2018. Emerson Elementary, an aging and somewhat neglected structure, has seen better days. Its walls are in need of fresh paint, the gym floor bears cracks, and the school faces dwindling enrollment. Some parents express dissatisfaction, suggesting that the school's emphasis on character education takes precedence over efforts to improve standardized test scores. With the academic year's close, both Emerson and the neighboring Montgomery Middle School are slated for demolition, making way for a supermarket to be built in their stead. Yet, for most of the students, Emerson Elementary has been their educational home for as long as they can remember. The school has been a consistent and integral part of their lives. While some view it as a cornerstone, others anticipate the prospect of transitioning to a newer, better-equipped school. In the final collaborative project of the school year, Ms. Hill tasks the class with crafting a book of poetry intended for inclusion in the school's time capsule. Ms. Hill herself has a history of activism, and her influence permeates the classroom. She fills the air with folk songs as her students write, and a photograph on her desk from the 1970s captures her participation in a women's rights march in Washington, D.C. The rumors circulating suggest that if the school closure becomes a reality, Ms. Hill might choose retirement as her next chapter. Ms. Hill actively supports the students' endeavors to discover their distinct voices, unite as a community, and stand up for their convictions. Each student's poem is adorned with a date, a descriptive title, the author's name, and a small sketch of the student. The book is partitioned into 4 sections, signifying the different quarters of the school year. Throughout the narrative, the students offer insights into their personal lives and interactions within the backdrop of school happenings, spanning from picture day to the spring musical. Edgar Lee Jones leads off the narrative with his poem. As a biracial individual, Edgar already considers himself a poet. His verses express his deep affection for his grandfather, his family's historical involvement in the Civil War, and his present-day struggle to safeguard Emerson. Nora Hassan, who relocated from Jerusalem to the United States, yearns for her grandfather's presence and the mellifluous tones of Arabic. Donning a hijab, Nora initially endures bullying until she befriends Shoshana. Through participating in the student council election, Nora experiences a sense of being an American. George first throws his hat into the ring for the role of class president, basing his campaign on the aspiration to rescue the school. The consistent element in George's life, since his father's departure, has been school. He believes that by preserving the school, he can demonstrate to his father that certain things, like their family and their school, are worthy of preservation. Rennie Keiko-Stein is a product of both Jewish and Japanese heritage. She grapples with the notion of everyone dispersing and taking separate paths. Twins Sloane and Sidney Costley exhibit contrasting personalities. While Sloane embraces fashion and all things feminine, initially welcoming the possibility of the school transforming into a mall, Sidney, a tomboy, is grappling with her identity and aspirations. Gabby Vargas pens her verses in Spanish, with fellow student Mark Fernandez aiding in their translation to English. Gabby revels in singing, while Mark enjoys strumming the guitar, fostering a musical connection between them. As the narrative unfolds, Gabby's command of English improves, enabling her to assist in coaxing Mark out of his shell. Mark is grappling with his grief following his father's recent passing. He decides to participate in a band for the talent show alongside Tyler LaRoche, Jason Chen, and Ben Kidwell. Ben displays creativity and an outgoing nature. Jason, known as Seuss Chen, infuses his poems with Shakespearean dialogue and jazz elements, while Tyler, a newcomer, initially struggles to fit in. However, he develops an affinity for Ms. Hill and finds the atmosphere welcoming. Among the other students is Hannah Wiles, whose mother serves in the army. Hannah initially adopts a mean-spirited attitude towards some of her peers, but eventually realizes the significance of their school, acknowledging that its loss equates to losing a place where one is understood. Shoshana Berg, Hannah's yes friend, eventually finds her voice and stands up for herself. Rennie Rollins also sheds her timidity. Rajesh Rao, on the other hand, grapples with overeagerness and finds an unlikely companion in Newt Matthews, a student with Asperger's. Brianna Holmes, recognizing the value in used things, believes in saving Emerson rather than discarding it. Her homelessness informs her perspective. Katie McCain's mother is overseeing the supermarket project development. Katie earns her mother's respect when she stands firm in her convictions. The students take a range of actions, including petitioning the Board of Education, orchestrating a poster protest, and participating in a public board meeting where they deliver speeches and sing protest songs. Despite their efforts, they cannot prevent the closure of Emerson. They do, however, manage to retain one brick wall for their time capsule and paint a mural depicting their class. As the school year concludes, bulldozers gather outside the school while teachers pack up and students bid farewell to each other. The last 5th grade of Emerson Elementary contains a resource section that outlines the characteristics of various poetic forms employed in the book, encompassing acrostics, free verse, haiku, limericks, sonnets, rap, senryu, Fibonacci, and more. Shovan provides guidance on crafting each type of poem, offering readers suggestions and tips. Additionally, the book features a glossary of literary terms. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.